Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Breeden. I've just created a YouTube channel, and this is my official channel. I hope you'll support me. Hey, guys. Welcome back to our channel. It's Tuesday night. Well, technically Wednesday morning since it's 3 a.m., but I can't sleep. Uh, the coffee is still in my system, and my brain is just buzzing with everything going on right now. Today is just another day of me overanalyzing everything, so grab a snack and let's get into it. Okay, so I've been thinking about this whole Victor, Nikki, and Jack triangle thing, and it is literally keeping me awake. Like I am sitting here staring at my ceiling, trying to make sense of the psychology behind these three because it is just a mess, a complete and utter mess. Here's what's bugging me. Victor actually kicked Nikki out. Like he actually told her to pack her bags and get out of the house. And not just any house, but the replica ranch. Okay, wait. Let me back up. First, I should mention how absolutely insane it is that Victor built a replica of the ranch in the first place. It's like he's trying to manufacture this perfect, controlled environment where he is the absolute king, and the second Nikki stepped out of line, he banished her from his little dollhouse. It's weird, like really weird. The whole thing is just weird. Actually, no. First, I should mention why he kicked her out. He kicked her out because she supported Jack. Jack Abbott, Victor's mortal enemy since the dawn of time. But why is Victor still so insanely jealous of Jack? I mean, not exactly jealous, but kind of. He has this pathological need to destroy Jack. And the fact that Nikki even showed a microscopic ounce of sympathy for Jack was enough to make Victor completely lose his mind. He yelled at her, treated her like a squatter, and tossed her out. And Nikki, who is literally the woman Victor supposedly loves more than anyone else in the entire universe, just has to take it. Or maybe not. I don't know. Actually, she isn't taking it this time, which is the whole point of what I'm trying to figure out. What was I saying? Oh, right, Nikki is fighting back. She is teaming up with Jack to teach Victor a lesson. And I am so here for it, but I'm also second guessing if this is a good idea. Because whenever Nikki and Jack get together, things get messy, really messy. And Diane is already losing her mind. But wait, I need to talk about Victor losing Newman Enterprises first. Because that is the real reason Victor is acting like a wounded animal right now. He lost his company to Phyllis Summers. Phyllis basically usurped the company and is holding on to power, and Victor is just spiraling. He's trying to paint it as a temporary setback, but we all know it's not. It's a massive failure, and Jack is just sitting back watching Victor squirm and absolutely loving it. But then again, that doesn't explain why Victor is taking it out on Nikki so aggressively. Or maybe it does. Victor is a control freak. When he loses control of his business, he tightens his grip on his family. And when Nikki didn't blindly follow his narrative, he snapped. He used these completely deceptive and destructive tactics to try and get Newman back, and Nikki called him out on it, so he threw her out. It's classic Victor. He refuses to grow up. He literally will not mature past this need to be the absolute dictator of Genoa City. Okay, I know I just said the opposite, but hear me out. What if Victor is actually terrified? What if losing the company to Phyllis made him realize he's vulnerable, and seeing Nikki support Jack made him feel completely isolated? Probably doesn't matter, but I noticed that Victor always isolates himself right before he does something truly diabolical. And now he's actively sabotaging Summers Corp, working with Victoria to dig up dirt on Phyllis. He even gave Phyllis an offer she can't refuse. I don't know what the offer is yet, but knowing Victor, it's a trap. Anyway, the point is, Wait, what was the point? Right. Nikki and Jack teaming up. So Nikki is carrying the heavy burden of this fallout. She was thrown out by an ungrateful man who she has stood by for decades, and now she's aligning with Jack. But here is the thing that really gets me. Nikki's ultimate goal isn't to destroy Victor. She doesn't want to be permanently separated from him. Deep down, she is doing this because she hopes Victor will come to his senses. She wants to shock him back into reality. It's like an intervention, but with corporate sabotage and emotional warfare. She thinks that by teaming up with his worst enemy, Victor will snap out of his ego trip and realize what he's losing. But Jack does not have the same goal. Jack wants revenge. Jack is not going to just let this go. Victor should really be careful because he is underestimating Jack's resolve right now. Jack has Jabot, he has resources, and he has a massive chip on his shoulder. And now he has Nikki on his side. But this alliance is causing so much collateral damage, specifically with Diane. Oh my God, Diane. Let's talk about Diane Jenkins Abbott because she is a whole other rabbit hole I keep falling down. So Diane caught Jack and Nikki in a compromising situation. I think it was right after the whole Patty Williams boat incident, somewhere around there. Diane walks in, sees Jack and Nikki looking way too close, and she absolutely loses it. She blasts Jack. She's talking about divorce, and Jack is in a total panic. But can you blame her? Yes, she's overreacting, but also Jack and Nikki have so much history, which brings me to my next massive tangent, Jack's love life. Diane thinks she is the grand love of Jack's life. She thinks that because they have Kyle and because they finally got married after all these years, she is the ultimate winner of Jack Abbott's heart. But is Diane really his greatest love? Absolutely not. Not even close. I mean, if we are being completely honest, Luann Vollian Abbott was probably the woman Jack had the deepest, most pure connection with. Wait, do you guys even remember Luann? I feel like I need to explain this because it's so important to understanding Jack's psychology. Jack met Luann when he was serving in Vietnam. It was this tragic wartime romance. And he didn't even know for years that she had his son, Chemo. When he finally found out about Chemo, it completely changed him. It showed that Jack wasn't just this corporate playboy. He had this deep, hidden trauma and this capacity for profound love. Luann was pure. She wasn't involved in the Genoa City corporate backstabbing. She was just a woman he loved in a completely different life. When she died, it broke something in Jack. So whenever Diane acts like she is the center of Jack's universe, I just roll my eyes because she doesn't even hold a candle to the tragedy of Luann. Actually, let's talk about Jack and Nikki's romantic history while we're at it, because this is exactly why Diane is so paranoid. Jack and Nikki weren't just a fling. They were married twice, and they had a child together. Poor little John Abbott III. He died right after he was born, and they donated his heart. That storyline was so heartbreaking, and I feel like people forget how much that binds Jack and Nikki together. When you go through the trauma of losing a child and making the decision to donate their organs, you are connected to that person forever. It's a soul tie. So when Diane walks into a room and sees Jack and Nikki having a moment, she's not just competing with a former wife. She's competing with the mother of Jack's dead child. She's competing with a shared grief. that she can never understand. But then again, Jack has been married to basically everyone. It's actually kind of hilarious when you list them all out. He married Patty Williams. Oh my God, Patty. She is so unhinged. She literally shot Jack. And right now, Patty is back in town, clashing with Phyllis. They had this massive screaming match because Patty poisoned Summer years ago, and Phyllis is never going to let her forget it. It's just wild how all of Jack's exes are constantly orbiting each other and causing chaos. And then there was Lindsay Wells in the ADS, which was just a fever dream of a storyline. And Sharon Newman, Jack married Sharon in the late 2000s, which, if you think about it, is another example of Jack taking something of Victor's or Nick's. The Newmans and the Abbotts just constantly pass the same women back and forth. It's a pathological cycle. Jack marries Nikki, Jack marries Sharon, Victor marries Diane. Wait, did he? I can't even remember. There was definitely something there. It's like they can't form an identity outside of their rivalry. And of course, Jack married Phyllis twice, I think. His relationship with Phyllis was probably the most passionate, fiery dynamic he ever had. They were a power couple. They schemed together, they fought together. So when Victor lost Newman Enterprises to Phyllis, it had to sting extra hard for Victor knowing that Phyllis used to be Jack's wife. It's all connected. Every single corporate takeover in this town is basically just a proxy war for someone's divorce. So back to Diane. Is she Jack's true love? Fairly speaking, she is his current love. But she is not the top of his list. She is just the one who happens to be standing there right now, and she knows it. That's why she's so insecure. That's why she's threatening divorce just because she saw Jack and Nikki together. She knows that Jack's history with Nikki is deeper than anything she has with him. And Jack is panicking because he doesn't want another failed marriage, not because he can't live without Diane. I mean, he probably loves her, but he's also just exhausted. He's tired of failing at relationships. But what is Jack going to do about Victor? Because Jack is not a saint in this either. He is completely enabling Nikki's rebellion. He loves the fact that Nikki came to him. It feeds his ego. Victor kicked out his own wife, and she immediately ran to Jack. That is the ultimate victory for Jack Abbott. He doesn't even need to do anything to Newman Enterprises. Stealing Victor's wife's loyalty is the biggest blow he could possibly deliver. It's weird, though, because Nikki is playing a very dangerous game. She thinks she can control this narrative. She thinks she can align with Jack, teach Victor a lesson, and then eventually go back to the ranch when Victor apologizes. But Victor Newman does not apologize. He retaliates. If he feels backed into a corner, he will burn the entire city down. He's already doing it to Phyllis. He's sabotaging Summer's Corp. He's using Victoria to do his dirty work. What is he going to do when he realizes Nikki and Jack are actively plotting against him? I feel like Nikki is underestimating Victor's capacity for cruelty. Yes, she suffered from his erratic delusions for decades, but kicking her out of the replica ranch was a new level of cold. He literally looked at the woman who has stood by him through faked deaths, arrests, and endless affairs, and told her she was ungrateful. The audacity of Victor Newman is just unmatched. He demands absolute loyalty, but gives nothing but conditional love in return. And Jack is just sitting there, ready to weaponize Nikki's pain. Honestly, I kind of love it, but I also hate it because it's going to blow up in everyone's faces. Jack is going to push too hard, Victor's going to snap, and Nikki's going to be caught in the crossfire. And Diane is probably going to file for divorce anyway, because she can't handle the fact that Jack is spending all his energy plotting with his ex-wife. Actually, let's think about Victor's mindset for a second. Why is he so obsessed with Phyllis right now? He gave her an offer she can't refuse. What if he's trying to use Phyllis to get back at Jack? No, that doesn't make sense. Phyllis hates Jack right now, or at least they aren't close. But Victor knows how to manipulate people's histories. He knows Patty is in town harassing Phyllis. He knows Summer's company is vulnerable. Victor is basically playing 4D chess while Jack and Nikki are playing checkers. Or maybe I'm giving Victor too much credit. Maybe he's just a bitter old man who can't handle the fact that a woman outsmarted him and took his company. Yeah, that's probably it. He's throwing a temper tantrum. He kicked his wife out because he was embarrassed. That is literally the behavior of a toddler. Victor Newman needs to grow up, but he won't. He will stay exactly the same until the day he dies, and he will drag everyone down with him. I don't know, guys. My brain is just spinning in circles at this point. I keep going back to that image of Nikki packing her bags at the replica ranch. It's just so sad, but also so frustrating. Why does she keep going back? She always stands her ground for a little bit, maybe moves into the athletic club, but she always goes back. She hopes Victor will regain his sanity, but sanity isn't something Victor values. He values power. And Jack needs to focus on his own life. He has Jabot. He has Diane. For now. Why is he so obsessed with kicking Victor when he's down? Because it's Jack. He can't help himself. It's like a sickness. They are all sick. This whole town is just a giant web of trauma bonding and corporate espionage. Wait, what if Diane actually teams up with Victor? I think I read something about that. If Diane is mad at Jack for being with Nikki, and Victor is mad at Nikki for being with Jack, oh my God. What if Victor and Diane form an alliance? That would be the most toxic, radioactive partnership in the history of this show. Diane already faked her death once. What's to stop her from helping Victor fake a corporate crisis to ruin Jack? Okay, I'm definitely overthinking this now. My mind is just jumping all over the place. Let me try to summarize my thoughts before I completely lose the plot. Basically, Victor lost his company to Phyllis, threw a massive tantrum, and kicked Nikki out for not agreeing with him. Nikki ran to Jack, not to ruin Victor, but to shock him into behaving. Jack is using this to get revenge on Victor. Diane is freaking out because she knows Jack and Nikki share a deep, tragic history. Rip John Abbott III. And she feels threatened. And Victor is just out there sabotaging everyone because he refuses to go to therapy. Is that accurate? I mean, basically, sort of. It's so complicated because you have to factor in Luann and chemo and Patty Williams poisoning Summer and all these decades of betrayals. It's never just about a company. It's about ego. It's about men who refuse to admit they are wrong and the women who constantly have to clean up their messes. I should probably try to sleep, but I know I'm just going to lie here thinking about what Victor's indecent proposal to Phyllis actually is. And whether Jack is actually going to sign divorce papers with Diane, it's exhausting being a fan of this show, I swear. You think you have it figured out, and then someone gets locked in a gas station in Vegas. Oh yeah, Nick and Adam are doing that right now, but that's a whole other video. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I totally off base about Luann being Jack's true love? Am I being too hard on Victor? Probably not. The man is a menace. But whatever. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Or later today, I guess. Bye.